Snakes. Some folks find them fascinating. Others can't stand the sight of them. And honestly, it's not hard to see why. These are the same creatures that sneak into homes, drop out of trees, send pets running, and cause all kinds of chaos wherever they slither. It's creepy, it's wild, and weirdly captivating. So if you're up for it, take a deep breath and dive in. In this video, we're counting down some of the most spine-chilling snake moments ever caught on camera. You might not want to watch this one alone. Let's get into it. Delicious lunch. People are used to the fact that snakes are very dangerous creatures, and it's better to avoid them. They can bite, right? But as practice shows, often they don't care about people. It'll be much more pleasant and useful for them to eat another smaller creature. By the way, they do not disdain even their own kind. So in this video, an ordinary American witnessed the real cannibalism of the snake world. The king snake had already swallowed the venomous eastern copperhead. Just a few minutes later, the body of the smaller snake was gone. Non-childish games. You know, many people dream of having a house somewhere in the wilderness, with open windows overlooking the ocean or the forest. But people don't think about the possible troubles that residents of such places already face on a regular basis. In this video, for example, a man was babysitting a toddler, watching him while he played with toys on the floor. All of a sudden, a king cobra decided to visit them. The man, along with his eldest son, quickly took the baby with them, ran out of the room, and bolted the door. And then you could see how unhappy the creeping creature was. Well, usually these creatures are slower and calmer. In this video, it was the exact opposite. The reptile was crawling around the room super fast, as if it were its own apartment. It was probably angry, and who knows how this encounter would have ended if the adult hadn't spotted the snake in time. I'll just take a look. This snake must have had those thoughts as it watched the mother and daughter swinging on the hammock. The reptile crawled in and stopped right in front of the house. You know, the scene is similar to many of those found in horror movies, when some maniac stands and watches his victim, and the victim has absolutely no idea what's really going on at that moment. So the snake stayed in such a maximally creepy stance for several minutes before the mother noticed it. The woman's natural reaction was to be frightened. She immediately took the baby with her and left the room screaming. Write in the comments, what do you think the snake was doing in their house, and what did it want? After all, when it realized that people weren't coming back, it left the house almost immediately and crawled away on its own. I wonder how long the woman was afraid to go back to that place, and checked every corner where the creeping screamer could potentially hide. A small bite. It happens when a human overestimates their capabilities and skills. The man in this video was playing with a snake in public. He spun it around, kept it from crawling away, and generally treated her in the worst possible way. So it decided to take the chance and get at least a little revenge. Because the man was not too confident in holding the head of the snake, he wasn't able to grab it properly with his hand, and it had time to inflict the protective bite. Don't worry, the man wasn't hurt, because the snake was tamed and non-venomous. But I think everyone has already imagined some venomous monster in place of this harmless reptile, and an absolutely different outcome. Dangerous stance. Attention. If you ever see a snake anywhere in a stance like that, you better get away from it. I mean it. The whole point is that something like this could happen. By the way, I forgot to warn you about the screamer. I hope you're not wearing 3D glasses to watch this video. Uninvited reptile. The following story began quite spontaneously. It was a normal sunny day, and the man was doing his usual things, watering his flowers and enjoying life. His beloved cat was also running around somewhere nearby. But then, the family idyll was ruined by an uninvited reptile. It crept up from somewhere to the left, from the bushes, and the first thing it did was work out its aggression on the cat. Judging by its behavior, the snake wanted to devour the poor furball, but the owner noticed it in time. He turned around to see what was going on, and found a huge snake next to his friend. Of course, the man intervened in this fight that almost started, picked up the cat, and then hid it in a secluded place at home. When the man was still confident in his actions, he thought of going alone to defeat the snake with his bare hands, just like in the movies. But he quickly changed his mind about it, and you know what? He did the right thing. The man went home too, and together with the cat, side by side, they simply waited out the snake's visit. Who knows? Maybe the snake was venomous after all. Strange photo. And now I'm gonna show you a photo that my subscribers sent me some time ago. It went viral on the internet and forced Photoshop professionals from all over the world to participate in the investigation. The thing is, according to the author of the photo, all this is true. He and his friends barely escaped the attack of some abnormally large snake, which is 2 or even 3 times the size of a human. Of course, not everyone believed in such fairy tales. The picture was tested for Photoshop, and no one has received accurate information. Some are sure that this photo is still true, even though people have no idea where it could have happened. At the same time, others believe that it's fake, though it's pretty good. What do you think? Share your opinion in the comments below the video. Welcome! Suddenly think dangerous snakes can only sneak into a house somewhere in the middle of the trees or jungle, into a building somewhere by a river or so on. What do you say to that? It's the most ordinary house in the most ordinary town. There are cars driving along the roads. The woman's minding her own business outside the gate and having finished with them is about to return to the house. But then the new owner meets her at the entrance and says, "Hello, how are you? I wasn't waiting for you." Luckily, the lady has a good reaction and, like Neo from the Matrix, dodges the bite. I don't know if that snake was venomous or not, but in any case, it's a good thing that everything ended well, and the creeping monster simply crawled away on its own business, showing no desire to settle down in the woman's house. Hello from Brazil. This huge snake that a diver encountered says hello from Brazil, and had so much confidence in himself and in the snake that he dared to swim up close to it and take very beautiful but creepy shots. The video shows the huge body of the creeping reptile, its speedy tongue, and its eyes. I wonder if these creatures never attack people underwater at all, and why it behaves so calmly. Share your thoughts in the comments. Snake and toilet. If you find yourself in some exotic country, I would not advise you to sit on a toilet bowl for a long time. It is, of course, a good thing, and everyone loves it, but you have to take care of your own safety. But what can ever happen? As practice shows, a lot of things can happen. For example, a snake will crawl out of there and will be ready to do anything just to be on the surface. Even the bum of a human will not be a stumbling block for it. It remains a mystery how this reptile crawled up there in the first place and what it wanted. Of course, the people in whose house this creature was found didn't want to do anything with it due to the risk. The first thing they did was call the appropriate service, and they promptly subdued the reptile. I wonder how long after this incident the owners of the house looked into the toilet bowl before they sat on it. A gift from heaven. That's what I call what happened in this video. A confident and self-satisfied man squatted in the middle of the woods and wanted to record a vlog or shoot some Instagram stories. But Mother Nature decided to prank him and make a spectacular rain of snakes. Luckily for the man, the rain was limited to just one snake, but that's okay. It'll be a good lesson for him. The main thing is that no one was hurt in the story. Iguana versus snakes. In the wild, a fight between a snake and an iguana is not uncommon. Although you can't really call it a fight, snakes simply catch iguanas in their teeth and wrap around the poor creatures until they lose the ability to move at all. Now in the video, many iguanas run away from one of the snakes and more new snakes encounter them on the road. Let's follow this last protagonist here. It, like a trim ninja, did everything right and simply escaped its own death in a crazy way. At first, the iguana simply showed the snakes that they couldn't catch up with on a straight road. Then the lizard pretended to be dead, freezing right in front of the hunters. Because of the nature of their eyesight, the creeping creatures can't detect prey that's stationary. All in all, the plan might have worked. But the snake chose a strange path that ran too close to the iguana. This forced it to unfreeze and go on the run one more time. The lizard moved as fast as it could, trying to escape. But then, like its congener, our protagonist was intercepted. That's how it happens. You're euphoric and full of adrenaline. You're doing fine, and everything goes well. And then bang, you find yourself in the tenacious and gradually tightening paws of fate. But that's not about our lizard. Due to the fact that these snakes didn't have time to bite it properly, the iguana managed to slip out of their embrace and continue to escape. First, it jumped on one rock, then on the second. It dodged several predator attacks and survived. It was a great chase. Thank you for joining us on this journey, and please share which snake moment left the most lasting impression on you in the comments section. Stay vigilant and stay safe.